Hey now. Hello,
It worked.
Andrew.
It worked.
I think we should give a good shout out, Jack and James.
Jack and James
Went
over the hill to fetch a pail of water.
I'll tell you, this was nothing short of miraculous.
Mm.
But
Way to go, Jack.
welcome to the new Miles Franklin studio. First time.
I got pretzel.
I know.
I ate a pretzel stuck in my teeth.
I know, because I think I left them over
You
there.
left them over here.
I
Why
did.
would you leave those by
I
me?
don't know, but thank you.
Damn it.
Hey guys, welcome to the live Q&A. Welcome to the new improved studio.
Not in my house anymore.
No, not in your house. We have a Miami background, which
do.
is extraordinary.
Thank you.
Nothing short of miraculous to get this going today. We are a little late. We planned on doing so a little earlier. We will be starting the live Q&As going forward, most likely on Mondays around 5:36, most
So
likely.
it doesn't interfere with Monday Night Football. I'm good with that.
Well, that's what we wanted to do.
5:30.
Right. And then that gets us 9 o'clock football. But we have to dinner first, too.
Well, there's plenty of places we
Houston's
can stop along the way.
Well, Houston's
Cocktails
is right
and dinner.
across the street.
Right.
So that's good. Well, listen, I would say it's good to see you, but I just spent a week with you. So it's
I
not
get
so
it.
good to see you,
I
but,
get it. It's all good.
a lot has happened.
What's happened?
A lot's happened. Well,
What's
first of all,
happened?
This is new. I don't know how we get rid of that. We got to...
You think I can see that? Save my life.
Wait, there we go. I got rid of it.
Way to go.
Lots happened. Well, we took a cruise together.
Yeah.
Which was good. It was definitely a little bit more work than I had anticipated doing on the ship, but Wi-Fi actually was pretty good, so I was pretty impressed. What'd you think of the ship? What'd you think of the
Loved
cruise?
it.
First time in a long time.
I loved it.
It was
Thought
good
it was
time.
great.
Good time. Yeah,
We did very well in the casino together too.
we did. We were partners. We are partners. We continue to be partners. I will be honest. Prior to this ship, it was
Be honest here.
extremely one-sided, because I always say that Mr. Sheckman has a golden rabbit's foot stuck in his ass. Am I allowed to say that
Yeah.
on YouTube? Okay. But I will tell you, this trip, however,
You
proved
redeemed yourself.
I redeemed myself. We took a stop in the Atlantis, and unbeknownst to either one, I looked at him and I said, I'm going to get a straight flush.
Next hand he did.
Next hand I did.
$9,000 we split.
Yeah.
Almost 10.
Almost 10. And
Way to
then,
go.
yeah.
Way to go.
It was
Nice
good.
job.
It was a good job.
I won't give you crap anymore
No, it was
for
a good
being
job. But
worthless.
so while we were away, there was much going on in the world. There
Tell
was
me
much
about it.
going on in the metals market.
Tell us all about it.
You think that everybody wants to hear from me? All they want to do is hear from you. That's it.
Everyone
Oh my
says I
God,
need to meet
you're
Tattoo.
Andy Sheckman,
I want to
you're Andy
meet
Sheckman.
Tattoo. That's all I ever hear.
And what do I say when they say, I have to meet Andy?
Dumbest, smartest guy I know.
And what's the other one they say? I said,
He beats me in golf all the time.
If you only knew.
Oh,
If they only knew.
if they only knew.
But yes.
Is
let's,
anyone really who they think they are? Do you think?
You are.
Well,
you are.
I'm not fake,
No, not in the least. There's,
but I can turn on a different side of me, I guess.
Yes,
you know?
but I tell everybody, no matter who, no matter where, no matter what you see him as is 100% exactly the way he is.
Thank
The
you.
only thing that they don't get to see much of,
Is the stupid side.
yeah, which I see really often.
But see, like I wish I could be stupid more often
you
because
can.
it's actually
But this is our stupid.
it lets
forum.
your brain decompress.
But this is our forum for you to let it go.
Like I was talking with Michelle McCory today. Michelle, we're so fortunate to have Michelle now.
Which, by the way, wonderful addition. If you haven't seen the interview between Michelle and Andy, it is a must. A little long, but they cover a lot of bases.
Won't be long.
It won't be that long,
forward.
generally speaking, but it is a must watch.
I said to her, I said, Michelle sits over there. We sit across from each other. We're talking about having a guest in the studio where her and I would sit together. I said, well, would you mind if I stick my finger in your ear and, put helmets on your head and poke you?
I don't think that's.
She said, I may not act as positively as Kevin does. But
you and I could do that all day long and actually have a great time doing
Yeah.
it. Michelle is probably not. Hi, Michelle. I know you're watching.
She's not the person to do that.
No, I mean, listen, we'll do it. We'll do it to her, unbeknownst to her.
Right. You'll do it.
Yeah. Well,
What's she going to do to you?
we'll surprise her. It'll be fun. Michelle, I promise it will be fun. at least for us.
Yeah.
It's like the doctor when I say, "Is it going to hurt?" He says, "It's not going to hurt me at all."
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
Right.
Alan Ritter, thank you. Alan.
You
He
notice
said
he's
nice
wearing a vest.
but he's
wearing
right.
a vest.
Black is more slimming.
But I swear you were wearing a different vest when you came in here, weren't you?
No, I had a red one the other day because we were going to do it the other day.
Oh,
but
that's why.
we had a lot of technical
I
difficulties.
swear the dude's got as many vests as most people have pairs of socks.
I do have quite a number of vests.
What's with the vest? Is it just the arm thing?
It's form fitting. It's
okay. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one is a special one.
Oak Hill.
Oak Hill.
That place is like place is like the death march, man.
It was fun.
We haven't done this for a long time.
We haven't. No, we were supposed to do it a number of times. We have had. If you guys could really see the inner workings of this studio, it's amazing. We moved into a new office, and the studio is within the office. It is simply amazing, but it's been
horrible
to get this thing going the right way. So this is, and we're still not 100% there. We'll get there, but we're not there yet. So, but we want to welcome everyone again. Thank you for coming, for joining us. It has been a while. We will be back to most likely the weekly broadcasts. There's a lot to go over. Maybe do you want to start off with a little recap, or should we take some questions to kick it off?
However you'd like. I'll have plenty of stuff to talk about as we go.
One question that there is about did you buy gold and silver?
Oh, did we buy gold? Well, as a matter of fact, you just showed me something.
As a matter of fact, I bought today.
Yes, you did.
I bought a 500 count mint box of American Silver Eagles and 2 MS 66 $10 Liberties,
which I had never seen before.
Yeah,
I had never seen that before. No, I think I actually, unfortunately, got unlucky that I had to buy my wife jewelry.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know I was doing. I don't think she knew either. I think she thought it was free. I'm not sure.
She's a good shopper.
Yeah,
like
good
pro caliber.
I know. Well, she's taking Jana on the tour with her, so it's yeah, it's been fun. All right, well, let's take a couple of questions to kick it all off. Jana,
before we do that,
yeah,
I want to mention something.
Please.
So last night I was watching a really interesting podcast with. Let me see if I can find the guy's name here, who it was, because
I think this is what I overheard John was talking about.
Yeah.
That was like amazing for you.
Well, no one's heard this before, okay? Right. I'm going to bet that none of you out here have heard this before. And I want you all to think about this in terms of this new push towards stable coins, where everything is going to be stable coin. And they're doing that to, in my opinion, front load. They're going to try to load up the front end of the treasury market. And the stable coins will be backed by U.S. Treasuries. So by loading up the front end of the treasury market, we saw what happened when Janet Yellen did that, right? It was good for stocks. It was good for gold. It was good for crypto, and it will be. They're going to try, as Luke Groman says, anesthetize the back end of the stock market. And that gets into my theory of backing it with gold to keep interest rates near zero, redeemable in gold, as Judy Shelton talks about, at a much higher price, as even Luke says, and then reshoring your manufacturing with very low borrowing costs because you are using gold backing the treasury, which acts as the inflation hedge, which acts as the high interest rate. So if you can, on the back end of the market, you can lower rates, keep the rates near zero, and have it redeemable in gold. You don't need a coupon. You now then have the ability with zero borrowing costs to bring your manufacturing back and grow your way out of this problem. They will fund the majority of their funding through the issuance of stable coins and short-term treasuries. It's a risky deal, and it could really work. I think it could actually work. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I said this on Michelle's and I's first podcast, and I believe it's going to happen. All right. Anyways, so one of the things I said on that podcast was talked a lot about lately this new BRICS bridge, which is M-Bridge, and how Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, said we're going to open this up to other countries. I said, ding, 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 ding. That's it right there. They're opening to other countries. The pushback of BRICS has always been, no, it's not big enough. Well, you open up this cross-border payment system free from SWIFT interference to other nations in conjunction with the Shanghai Metals Exchange expanding their exchanges throughout multi-jurisdictional plan. First one in Hong Kong, which is done. The next one is being built in Saudi Arabia, which is now operational, at least in terms of Saudi Arabia's role with the Shanghai Metals Exchange. They are fully able to buy right now in yuan, but also in other countries throughout the Belt Road. That was my belief, and I said that on the show. So keep all of this in mind, because if that's the case, if you open this up to the Belt Road, to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, to the Eurasian Economic Union, we were told they already connected 11 Asian countries and 5 Middle Eastern, which represent 38% of global GDP as it is. You're talking the majority of human population. This is no small thing, and no one's caught on to this yet. I'm proud to say I'm the only one stupid enough to say it. When they connected these Asianic countries, the countries in Southeast Asia and the 5 Middle Eastern countries, I said, this is it. And then I took the leap of faith and said, I bet they do the Belt Road. I said that because why not? All of these countries are very closely aligned with BRICS, even though they're not in the BRICS, but they're all very closely connected. All right. So that brings me to the interview I heard last night with a man named Andre Helshin. I don't know how to. Anyways, this guy is the CEO and chairman and founder of BRICS Pay. Now, BRICS Pay, think of it as a Visa card. In fact, one of the things that he said was that we're trying to integrate. We'd love to integrate with Visa and MasterCard, but we can't because of the sanctions in the United States. This is largely a Russian initiative.
Oh, clearly.
And well, let me finish. Anyways, this is a Russian initiative, and he basically said, yeah, we're opening it up to other countries, just like the BRICS bridge, which is the M bridge. Mm-hmm. And the first question that was asked of Andre was, what's the difference between BRICS bridge and BRICS Pay? And he said, well, as we've said now for about 6-8 months or a year, I don't know how long I've been talking about BRICS Pay, but it's been a while.
It's a lot.
And the question was, what's the difference? And he said, well, BRICS bridge is M bridge, and it is cross-border payment between central banks. And that's why, when I said it'll hit the Belt Road, it's all of the 150 plus countries in the Belt Road will transact with China and other countries eventually. Cross-border payment on this bridge network, free from SWIFT interference, and then they'll settle transactions in their own CBDCs, but settle in balances in gold. And this expansion of the Shanghai Metals Network through the entire Belt Road infrastructure and into South America and Asia is the puzzle piece that was missing. This represents not a new currency, but the backing of a new currency. It represents the treasury market in essence. And that was very obvious to me. Well, he said that's what BRICS bridge is. It's cross-border central bank plan that sidesteps SWIFT. He said BRICS Pay is a system that is B2B, business to business, bank to bank, small banks to small bank, consumer to business, business to consumer. It's a retail side of things. So for all of us little people,
our Zelle type in that.
Yes, for whichever country that you are in. And the question was, is this just for BRICS nations? No, we are opening it up to other countries. In fact, we are right now in negotiations with China right now to develop BRICS Pay technology throughout the Belt Road Initiative. This is 75% of human population, you guys, 50% of global GDP. Now you add in the BRICS, you add in the Asianic countries, you add in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which in and of itself is 50% of global population, 30% of GDP. You put all these groups together that are all united very closely with the BRICS and with China and with Russia and with all of Saudi Arabia. Remember, on the M bridge, which is BRICS bridge, it was 5 countries, Saudi Arabia being the 5th. So you have in the largest oil producer in the world, along with China, Hong Kong, Thailand, and the UAE, number 5 or 6 largest oil producer. Anyways, the bottom line is that he said it's being integrated into the Belt and Road. All of this stuff was amazing and supports what I've been saying. Okay, Now, this is where it gets interesting. They said to him, there's terrorists out there, Andre. There's bad people. How do you know you won't be funding bad people from nation to nation using BRICS Pay?
Good question.
And he said, well, we're going to open this up to other countries, so we are very, very tuned in to the AML and KYC obligations of other nations. Now, AML means anti-money laundering. Most of you all probably know that. KYC, know your customer. I had a meeting with my staff today, everyone. We do it by Zoom once a week. And I said, they also said, we're going to do KYT. And I'm thinking, I had to stop it and rewind it. I'm like, whoa, what the hell did he just say? What the hell is KYT? Now, do any of you know what KYT is? Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
I bet you don't. Don't lie, Alan. You don't know what it is. Alan, there's no way. No, I didn't. Look.
Jake just thinks you're on fire right now.
Jake, you don't know what this is either, brother.
You're on fire.
KYT, and I want you to think about this in terms of the new stablecoin, which some people say is the foray into the surveillance state. That it's a sidestepping of the CBDCs, but if you don't think that the powers that be will be knowing the on-ramp and the off-ramp, will be monitoring, and I mean, look, they will be. And we are moving towards a world where you can have $500 in your pocket and no one knows. You can go buy whatever you want with said money and no one knows. You start using this stuff, you're on the ledger. So he said, yes, our software is compliant with KYC, AML, and KYT. I'm thinking, what the hell is KYT? He says, know your transaction. So think about that for a minute. These stable coins, or in this case, this new technology, this bridge technology, any type of digital technology that is going B2B, bank to bank, bank to business, business to consumer, consumer to business, you name it, has in it the ability to know your client, which means they need to know who you are and where the money came from. AML, anti-money laundering legislation. Yeah, the AML is, is this legit? Are they trying to launder money? And then KYT. Well, we don't like the fact that you're, going to buy a new handgun, and we don't like the fact that, you're doing this or doing that. Maybe you're buying too much alcohol or smoking too many cigarettes or buying too much Coca-Cola, whatever the hell it is.
Big Brother's watching.
That's the scary part about this, is that this new technology has KYT. My company, the reason I left it in Minnesota, you guys, is because of the legislation where we are regulated. We're the only state in America that is licensed, bonded, background checked in a federally non-regulated industry. It's a pain in the ass, but it holds us to the highest level of anyone in the industry. And we are regulated the way that a FINRA type of brokerage firm is.
Very proud of that.
Well, and I am. It holds us to a higher, it makes it safer to do business in a federally non-regulated industry with a company that's licensed, bonded, and background checked. And I've taken all these classes. We take mandatory every year. The whole office has to take mandatory AML training. Yep. I've never heard of KYT. And I'm tuned in more than most CEOs in this industry to that topic because of the regulation in the state of Minnesota. So think about that when you talk about the surveillance state. Think about that when you talk about why you may want to consider buying gold before the matrix closes in on us. And then you look at the massive deliveries and the accumulation by the central banks and the drying up of the exchanges and the large spreads that we see between for exchange for physical transactions and the high interest rate on leasing. All of these things have never happened before. So you talk about the market dynamics. You can also talk about the old school privacy. And you can have, a whole bunch of gold and silver, bury it in the ground in a PVC pipe 3 feet down, and there's not a metal detector that'll find it. The point of it is we are losing the ability to have privacy anymore. And, you go to the bank and ask them for $1,000. And now think about it. Maybe they've had KYT legislation or training long before any of us knew what it is. What are you doing with that money, sir? None of your damn business what I'm doing with the $5,000. Hookers and blow, right? That's what I'm doing with it. The point of it is that, of course I'm joking, right? I'm joking, right? Honey, I'm joking.
Hookers are blue.
Yeah, I'm joking. Well, isn't that what you're supposed to
I
say?
want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Anyways, the point of it is that
But we see that. We see that
the banks
now.
say, "What are you doing with the money?" Well, maybe they've been told.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Well, they don't even, I mean, that we've had clients that have said that, I tried to wire. They said that it'll need to be in the review process for 48 hours. And then in that 48 hours, they try and talk them out of it and say, do you know who these people are? Do you know the risks involved in metals? But you know what that is. That's them also, not wanting those assets to leave their bank, especially on a wire where they don't have the ability to bring money back in before that money goes out.
Well, that's the point.
That's
It's
thing.
crazy,
Yeah.
And so much of this stuff, people would say a year or so ago or less, it's all bullshit, conspiratorial, tinfoil hat. Well, really, it ain't. And you can see it's happening. And when you have the guy that developed this technology say that in order to get into other countries, when you put that in context with the questions that everyone says to us who tries to get money out of the bank, they ask me what I'm doing with the money. Ask yourself, do you think that those bankers have been told? Ask them what they're doing. We want to know what they're doing with this money. And don't push it, but ask them. And if they give you a hard time, then you write what's called a suspicious activity report.
Right.
And they won't know it's from you, but you'll get in trouble if you don't do it. The point of it is that we are entering a period of far less privacy, far more surveillance, and even being a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen, you're going to end up feeling like you did something wrong. So while you still can, keep that in mind as in terms of another reason to own gold before that window closes. It seems like it is closing.
Well, we're getting there. And I think that was a extremely healthy monologue. But I don't want to cut you off. Are you done? Because we have a bunch of questions.
Well, I am now. It kind of hurt my feelings.
I do that every day.
Okay, I'm done.
But I love you.
I'm done.
I love you.
I love you too.
Well, we have some questions here that I know that you'd want to answer.
Yeah.
This one's kind of interesting. Number one, someone did write this, which I'm going to put that on the screen. I'm going to.
What did they say?
But they said that where would it go? I'll get you this one and I'll find it while you're answering this. Because this one's an interesting
You
one.
got to read it because I can't.
I will. Let me get to it. Where is the one? There we go. Tom George wants to know, is Andy ever concerned about your safety with what you expose at COMEX and the LBMA?
I hope not. People have said that to me before.
Yeah.
I try to be polite, respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say anything factual if it's not factual. I'm not crossing that line. I don't think, I'm not.
I don't think you're saying anything that's not true that other people know that just might be.
I'd like to say a lot of things that I don't. I'll put it to you that way. There are things that I
know that you tell me that we don't talk about on air.
Yeah.
That we discuss. Absolutely.
But, look, I spend 2-3 hours a day, every day, reading and researching. This information's out there and it's incredible sources. And then I fact check it after I flag it as being something that needs to be talked about. But that's a fair question. And that's why I try to be respectful and say that I am a patriot, that I love this country, that the country's done more for me than I would have ever thought I would achieve. And it saddens me to see these kinds of things. But yeah, you like to hope. I mean, look, a lot of people think that's why Bart Chilton died after exposing J.P. Morgan of cancer, I guess, a week later on Chris Marcus's show. But who knows?
Well, Tom George also he had a comment about the studio, and he said that the studio is cold. He prefers the house.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's what he wrote. But I mean, look, this is the studio. This is where we're going to be. But that doesn't mean, as Andy and I talk about quite a bit, we were going to do one from the cruise.
Yeah.
So
we can do it.
We could do this from the house. We could do it from the cruise. This is just our first time. This is our foray into the studio for the first time. So you might get us.
It probably is more.
Yeah, it's more
intimate
cozy at your house.
like,
but we could do it at your house. We could do it at my house.
I think we should do it wherever the hell we want,
we
whenever.
No doubt about it.
Let's just do it at different places.
But we
could go like to a Miami Dolphins football
totally,
game and do it.
We're going to do it in the middle of the Atlantic is where we're going to do it.
We
were just a little afraid of the Wi-Fi, so we had to be a little bit cognizant of that. So
What's
What?
the other comment?
All right. Shelley says the new set is formal, but the show is informal. Just saying. It's like my brain is expecting a newscast, but we get the personal discussion I like. So, just saying, good and bad.
Yeah,
All right.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well,
listen.
I couldn't do this with Michelle if I didn't do it. Everyone wanted her to join their team.
Yeah.
And we feel very fortunate that she's with us, and we've become very fast, wonderful friends, and we couldn't be more happy. But it wouldn't work doing it in my office
look,
at
I mean,
home.
Michelle is in the short time that I've gotten to know Michelle, she is without a doubt probably, if not one of the most professional people I've ever seen. She is a perfectionist, and she is extraordinarily bright. And we are just elated to have her on board here at Miles Franklin.
Yep.
So with that said, let's get to a couple more
Okay.
questions here. Robert Hutchinson wants to know or to say that, Andy, the top minds in the precious metal sector are starting to talk about a gold revaluation. Do you think it will happen? And would that require an audit of America's gold?
Yes, it would absolutely. I think it will happen, and I think it will have to be audited.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit at the Rick Rule conference.
Yeah.
I wish that everybody had the ability to hear Andy speak at the Rick Rule conference. He was sensational, as always.
It's very kind
not
of
to
you.
blow smoke up his ass, but it
Thank you.
actually turned out to be a wonderful event, and he was sensational.
All right.
So,
Well, and Rick Rule, shout to Rick. He's done more for me than anyone in this industry. I love Rick, and I thank him for letting me be part of all of his shows.
Yeah. And battle.
I do think it will be revalued. In fact, I was listening to Luke Roman on Chris Marcus's podcast yesterday or the day before, and what a great podcast that was. That dude's awesome. I want to get him on the show, but he was echoing a lot of the things that I have been saying, and made me feel happy to hear that someone as smart as him was saying that. And he thought that they would let gold get to a level of higher than most people think possible, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and then revalue it to a much, much higher level. And again, supporting my thesis, that would devalue the dollar, which is what they want for exports.
Right.
That would create a bunch of inflation, which is what they want to pay off the $28 trillion in debt that we owe in 3 years, only bringing in $15 trillion in tax revenue. Doesn't work. You're halfway there, which doesn't take into account the $3+ trillion every year in deficit spending between now or then, makes it about 25% of the way there. So they'll inflate, they'll destroy the dollar, they'll devalue the dollar by revaluing gold like Roosevelt did and Nixon did in 72 and 3. And then they'll peg gold to the back end of the treasury market at a much higher level. Every $4,000 increase in the price of gold would give the Treasury general account $1 trillion free and clear.
Which is what Judy Shelton was talking about.
Right, but there's misconception out there. I've heard a couple people say, well, then they would have to sell their gold. The Federal Reserve has claim on the gold. No, they don't. The Federal Reserve has claim on the cash value of the gold. In other words, the Treasury issues those gold certificates to the Fed. The Fed prints the money out of thin air, gives it to the Treasury, and then the Treasury has, if it were at 24,000, as James Rickards was saying, $6 trillion free and clear to start to pay down the debt. They wouldn't even have to issue, as Luke was saying, any debt for a couple of years at this point, long-term debt, just focus on the stablecoin issuance of short-term Treasury debt to fund the operations, start to work down the back end of the debt. See, the whole point is this: how can you get people to buy our Treasury debt when we are inflating away the currency, when we are, as Trump is trying to do, create money and start to put it back into the United States? So create money. You can't do that as the World Reserve, to print your own money, to build your infrastructure, to compete with the rest of the world in manufacturing. Why would they buy your treasuries? They won't. And astutely, as he said, as we've talked about Triffin's dilemma, China doesn't want to be the World Reserve either, because they'll hollow out their manufacturing base. So the question is, how do you bring back your manufacturing in an environment with high interest rates? You can't. You'll blow everything up and it won't work. But what if you have zero borrowing costs with gold pegged to the redeemability of the long end, starting at 50-year, then 30-year, then 20-year? The front end is being fulfilled tremendously by stablecoin issuance and other people like money markets buying the short term. But the back end doesn't need China and Japan and Saudi Arabia anymore because they aren't buying anymore. In fact, they're selling. So you peg it to gold, you reinvigorate demand for that asset, but you have borrowing rates at next to zero. In fact, Judy talks about a zero coupon bond deliverable in gold. So at that point, you can now, with zero interest rates, reshore your manufacturing base at very low borrowing costs. The weak dollar makes what they produce that much more attractive. And then you end up having a chance for your children and your grandchildren growing our way out of this problem. The only way you stifle inflation without, in this case, blowing everything up by raising rates, and you can't raise rates too high or the whole system blows up. Stocks, bonds, real estate, the banks, the insurance companies. So instead, you peg it to gold. And you have low interest rates, you bring your manufacturing home, and over time you grow your way out. It might just work. So yes, I do think they are going to revalue gold. The question is, do they revalue it slowly or all at once? Do they let it start to, get up way high, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 and then revalue it? That's how I would do it. That's what Luke said.
Do you think that's going to happen? We were talking about July 26 as being a time frame. I know that's what Trudy Shelton was talking about, but you kind of.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they need to revalue it before they issue the treasuries because it would be redeemable on the face value down the road. Right. It's not a number of ounces.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the drive that they're going to. It's the only way that you can keep interest rates low on borrowing costs and reshore your manufacturing at the same time, and have demand for the treasury. And that's why they did the stablecoin bill to blow up the front end of the treasury market, to get all of this demand for short-term treasury debt to keep the game going.
I think hopefully, Robert, that answered your question. And let's go here. Robert McLellan, what percentage of savings do you think people should put in precious metals for the avoidance or doubt, above and one's routine purchases from their investment portfolio? Look, back in the day, I used to be a financial advisor.
Was that before prison?
That was before incarceration, yeah. That is a joke. He's definitely joking, mostly. No, in all honesty, it used to be that they would say if an asset allocation model would be 60% equities, 20% bonds, 10% cash or money market. And then they used to put into a tiny little section 5 to 10% in precious metals. Now, I know back when I was a financial advisor, I never did anything in precious metals. And I know now with all the people that we know currently,
none of them do anything with it.
Huh?
None of them do, even still.
But today, and that's that.
And our mutual acquaintance, who I happen to love very much, who's moving into our neighborhood, who I love dearly, who could buy it and understands it, he probably wouldn't know it if it fell on his toe.
And the funny thing was, he just told me that he bought GLD.
What a dummy.
I know.
What are you doing, brother?
Right, exactly. So, but mind you, going back to the allocation model, this was
You're not a dummy. I'm sorry. But I love you. But what the hell are you doing?
Well, my point was that allocation model was present back when we had an economy that was what I considered way more normal than today's. So in today's economy, do I think that precious metals can have a much greater part of your asset allocations? Without a doubt. Andy and I together, we are a little different. I don't expect anyone to have their asset allocations the way we do. We eat, breathe, sleep, live precious metals. So we do things a little bit differently, way more than most people would ever have. But yeah, I think that it wouldn't be so out of the ordinary to have a good 20 to 25% of your investable assets in metals. As Andy is always asked this question, and he always answers it the same way, I'm going to ask you now, Andy, how much money should we have in precious metals? What's your always your answer?
Do I have an answer for that?
Yeah.
Whatever amount you don't want to lose. I don't know.
There you go. That's it.
To me, gold and silver is wealth. It's not an investment. And Kevin, to your point, as recently as 1999, the U.S. had a budget surplus, debt of only $5.6 trillion, and stocks worth more than ever in history. The U.S. was widely admired. Its federal debt was bought as a monetary reserve all over the world. It wasn't at war and wasn't sponsoring major wars overseas. It encouraged free trade and generally favored the rule of law. So you think about that now. I mean, we've been a laughingstock for 6 years or more. I mean, it's just nonstop chaos, divisiveness, lawlessness, silly brain dead monetary policy, fiscal irresponsibility, backstabbing, no unity amongst politicians,
More
party
divisiveness
lines
than we've ever seen.
and so you ask yourself about how much money do you want to keep in dollars. I have another example here that I will I mean, if you keep your money in dollars, you're destined to go broke. When we talk about gold in terms of anything, right? So when we talk about homes, like measured in dollars, I have it on my phone here. I can see what the actual number is. But measured in dollars, the price of homes has, I don't have the graph. Oh, yeah, I do. Here we go. So measured in dollars, if you had gold, if you bought gold since 2005, roughly, the average price of a house would have cost you in 2005 roughly almost 700 ounces of gold. Could that be right? Yeah, I guess. Could that be? No, or is that the price of a house? Hang on a minute. No.
Well, it's what'd you say? 700
Yeah.
ounces?
So, yeah, I guess that'd be
700
right.
ounces of gold is what?
But back in 2005, gold would have been like $400 or $500.
Right.
So that's right.
So that's 350,000.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 2005, it would have cost you almost 800 ounces of gold. So instead, this is the same analogy I give all the time with house prices. So if you look at the price of homes in dollars, the average price has increased. It's now about $425,000. Measured in gold, you're winning. Measured in dollars, you're getting crushed. And they say gold has smoked real estate since 2005. And that's the reason. So now it only takes, and it's to the lowest ever. You can see on the graph right here, Kevin. See that?
I sure do.
And that is about 150 ounces of gold instead of 2005, where it was almost 800 ounces of gold. So the point of it is that if you kept your money in dollars, you got your ass handed to you, just in terms of even buying a house, right? But if you put that money in gold, instead of 800 ounces since 2005 to buy the house, you only need about 110 ounces to buy that house. But you can go back as far as you want, and I'll show you the same thing. 1960, I could show you the exact same thing. Census Bureau says a house was $17,000. Gold was $35. It's like 480 ounces of gold, give or take, right? So you take out a mortgage back then for $17,000 in 1960, 65 years ago, and you leave that gold under your mattress collecting nothing but dust for 65 years. Those 485 ounces of gold right now are worth almost $2 million, $1.5 million or more. That $17,000 instead doesn't even buy you a couch and a TV.
That's the purchasing power. That's
the point.
Most people don't get.
You save in dollars, you're destined to go broke. You're not a contrarian. As Rick Rule says, you will be a victim. So how much should you hold? You tell me. At the same time, you have stocks and bonds and real estate at all-time highs. And, what's interesting is that when we see let's just simply say this, everything that I see, whether it be the dollar strength or interest rates or the overvaluation of markets or the insider selling that continues. I've been talking a lot about the insider selling, the amount of institutional selling. It just came out yesterday. According to Bloomberg data, Jeff Bezos has been on a selling spree since late June, capitalizing on Amazon's stock rebound from its April lows. So far, the sales have generated $5.7 billion for Bezos. He's just like Zuckerberg and Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett, who's sitting on $500 billion in cash and treasuries. So as the insiders are selling and running from equities, it's the largest allocation by the mom and pop retail investor ever, more so than the .com at about 53%. At the same time, the insiders are draining the LBMA and the COMEX and buying copious amounts of gold from the central banks to the commercial banks to whoever the hell is standing for delivery to near the tune of $100 billion since November here in the United States worth of gold and silver. A lot of it leaving the exchange, not all of it, but a lot of it. they're jumping in to commodities, and the retail public, they have very little exposure, if at all. What could go wrong? The insiders are leaving equities and buying commodities, and the public is all in on equities and doesn't know a gold coin if it falls on his or her foot.
Yep.
What could go wrong? So leaving all your money in dollars is the key to going broke, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's I couldn't agree more.
How about this one? One last one.
Yeah.
Trump said today he likes a strong dollar, but you make a hell of a lot more money with a weaker one. So when we have a strong dollar, one thing happens. He says it sounds good, but you don't do any tourism. You can't sell tractors. You can't sell trucks. You can't sell anything. Manufacturers would be the first to benefit from a falling dollar. Japan and China fought for weaker currencies for decades and were able to dominate markets all over the years. Now it doesn't sound good, but you make a hell of a lot more money with a weaker dollar. What have we been saying? He wants a weaker dollar. He will devalue the dollar by revaluing gold. He wants lower interest rates, which will devalue the dollar. So all of these things are happening. Don't take my word for it. Follow the crumbs. And the crumbs are everywhere. And whether you have the ability to put the crumbs together, that's what I'll do for you the best I can. Do your own due diligence and think for a moment. Why do they say these things? Why does Trump say, he who has the gold makes the rules? And why are all these crumbs that we're seeing everywhere, the massive deliveries? And I don't know. I'm just simply saying that we're going to have a weaker dollar. I believe gold will be pegged to the treasury market. You save in dollars, you're bumming.
Yeah.
You put your money in gold, and I think the sky's the limit. They're going to let it go higher. It's the only way to continue to sell long-end treasury bonds while keeping interest rates at or near zero without literally hyperinflating everything. I mean, it's the only path I see.
So that's the gold. And now we have Blackbeard Silver asking, what is your gut feeling on silver price by the end of the year? We were talking when we were on the ship. You turned to me and said, silver's going to get hit. Option expirations tomorrow, which you said was today.
Well, it is.
Tomorrow's the last trading day, though.
I'm pretty sure it's something else tomorrow. Today was the last day, I think. I think it has to do with contracts going off the board.
It's either today or tomorrow, but I thought that tomorrow was the last trading day of the front month. But whatever the case may be, either way, and Andy certainly has opened my eyes to it. Generally speaking, in the past, it's always been, and it really has followed suit, that towards the end of the month, towards option expiration, they will always try and hit it down.
And what do they do?
They brought it down.
Tomorrow goes back up.
And then early on in the month, up. And generally, at least I believe from where we are now, at a 14, 15-year high, teetering on that $40 level, which I think is instrumental. That once we get through 40, I personally believe, and it's not Andy's opinion, it's mine. I think once we get above 40, it is almost a straight shot to 50.
I'd agree, because if you look at the peak in 2011 and 1980, cumulatively, it spent about this much time above 40.
It only spent this much time really in the 30s.
Yeah, it raced up and raced down.
Correct.
And so you have a couple days worth of resistance, which is a whole lot of nothing. Talking about the gold-silver ratio, both Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are forecasting 4,000 gold by next year.
Yep.
And
possibly by the end of this year even.
Right.
Goldman.
Well,
Yep.
and let's put the gold-silver ratio at 50, which is higher than its average price of the past 150 years. That puts it at
Almost
what?
70.
$80 an ounce.
75, yeah, around there.
80.
Yeah.
50 to 1.
Yeah.
50 times
That's
80 is 4,000.
Yeah.
You put it at 70 to 1, which is way higher than it should be. It's where it was in 2021. You have a silver price of almost $60.
Yep.
And so that's a 50% gain nearly. So the point of it is silver, I believe, is the value of a generation. Now, you look at what's happened recently on LBMA. We've talked a lot about the T+8 week delivery debacle. We've talked about.
Have to put in, I mean, let's give them a break. I mean, there's
shortage of trucks,
right?
Well, but you have a blowout in the exchange for physical premium, where if I have a contract and you have bars and I don't want to go through the settling on the exchange, I'll trade with you. The last week in 2 days, the premium for that exploded by 245%. Never seen that before. The lease rate in London, 8%. Never seen that before. The shares available for shorting for the last week and the week before that, Bob Coleman did a great write-up on that. 0. There's usually a few million shares. 0. You couldn't find anywhere. So all of these, plus the massive deliveries, these are all signs of great stress in the market. High borrowing costs, huge blow up in the spread between exchange for physicals, no shares to borrow, long delivery delays.
What was the latest that you told me? It was that at 37, they put on 440 million ounces.
440 million ounces they shorted at 37.50.
Right.
And so where are we at today? I bet you we're
38, 35.
Yeah, right about there. So, they're only down a couple hundred million.
Well, when we were away,
they were down
about
$1
billion.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what's going to happen again, probably tomorrow, the next day, once we start going ahead. Look, I said, and I think that this is more from a technical standpoint, but I think it would not surprise me to see silver trading close to that 50 to 70, but probably closer to the mean of 60 by year end. It's aggressive, but I think that once we get to these points that, we've only been at 50 for a very, very short time, and it's been.
Do you remember what we talked about what UBS raised their forecast to for silver?
UBS was 42, if I'm not mistaken.
And then when did they say that? They said it could happen as soon as
when? December?
This
month?
September.
Yeah, September, right, which is right now.
Right, through June of 2026. But they're raising it from 38 to 42.
And Citibank just raised theirs to north of 40 also. So now all of a sudden these big banks are starting to get on board. The silver train, and some Citibank actually lowered their forecast on gold. They lowered it, and they increased their forecast on silver.
Well, and let's answer that question one more way. Comments from a guy named Bruce Ikemizu. I got that way wrong, but
So
Bruce is
not even. I mean, you can't even be further away from that.
How would you say it? Right here.
Ikemizu. I think that's the way it is.
Wow.
Ikemizu.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. I think that's it.
That's what I said. You just said it faster. Ikemizu, like you tried to have a Japanese accent.
If you call him, I'm sure he's going to say that's my name.
This guy was the head of
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. Was the head of Chinese ICBC Bank, which is one of their biggest banks, the head of their precious metals desk in Tokyo, and he now is the chairman, I believe, of the Japan Bullion Market Association. So I want to read you something that Bruce said. This guy's the head of the Japan Bullion Market. It's like the COMEX, right? But in Japan. The market may already be broken, he said. London appears to have virtually no physical platinum available for delivery. It seems that there really is no platinum in local London or Zurich yet continues trading nearly 3 million ounces per day of London promissory note cash contracts for immediate platinum ownership and delivery. Something is about to break. He talks about the nearly 30% interest to borrow the metal. It's never been that high. 30%.
You find that on that's what you were paying on internet stocks. Right.
And he says, making it reasonable to consider just buying it outright, he says. I cannot recall a time when lease rates rose this sharply. He says, behind the banks are the actual users who borrow from them. The JBM chief goes on citing mining companies, recyclers, jewelry manufacturers, and industrial users. The revelation of the frailty of the London Platinum, here's the part I want to get to. The revelation of the frailty of the London Platinum paper market can knock on to the other London metals such as silver that are also traded as levered cash contract promissory notes, thus lifting the veil on one of the biggest market frauds in history. Silver is now seeing a concurrent surge in its 1 month lease rate, as I said, to 7%. Never seen that before. And as we've talked about, they have a float right now of only 155 million ounces. That's less than a day's trading. They're trading upwards ends of 1.9 billion ounces per day of paper naked contracts. You're talking an existential threat to some of the biggest banks on the planet who are as stupid as a mud wall in a tornado or in a rainstorm. Stupid because these other countries are standing for delivery. It's this close to ending. When you see it in platinum, when you see it in silver, you see it in gold, and you see it expanding across the globe. We are getting there. And the interesting thing is, you hear that? You hear nothing from the mainstream, not a damn word. You got to listen to two goofballs like us. I've been right on this, and I think ultimately silver and gold will go higher than anyone thinks possible because this game's going to end. And it will end when the commercial banks get on the right side of it, which I think they will. In fact, one of the things that Bix Weir just said, he said it's different right now that the commercial banks have not shorted the rising market. And he said it was interesting at the Commitment of Traders report that just came out. Normally, as the price would go higher up to $39, you would see the commercials massively short. Now, that's what you never do if you're a good trader. You don't short a rising market. That's stupidity. You short a falling market and keep pushing it. Well, if you have a really deep pocket, like you're playing poker and you've got 10 times the chips of everyone at the table, you can bully it around. That's what they, in essence, do. They sell the options. They let everyone get sucked in, like Kevin was saying, and then they smash it right before by shorting into a rising market. He said this time they didn't. And who was it? It wasn't the managed money, and it wasn't the commercial banks. Who was it? Well, this is the bullshit that is the COMEX. It was known as other traders.
Right.
Unidentified traders came in and shorted a few $100 million worth of silver on Wednesday and Thursday, driving the price down so that these options expire at or near worthless. Anyways, bottom line is we're seeing it in silver. We're seeing it in platinum. Follow the crumbs and have strong fingertips.
All right. This is my boy here, Aaron Cooper. Wonderful gentleman. We helped Aaron out with his dad with one of those ridiculous, unscrupulous firms that got ridiculous.
It's got a lot of traction.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron is he's sensational. I love speaking to him. I speak to him very often. He wants to know what the actual possibility that Trump hands the debt back to the Fed, seeing as their charter has expired, and then peg gold to the Treasury. Seems he hears us often. We kind of covered that already.
Yeah, well, they'll hand the gold. I don't think they'll hand the debt back to the Fed. But I do think that they will revalue gold, and the Fed will in essence create money out of thin air to buy the gold certificates that the Treasury issues. What we just covered. I don't know. And the Fed would be great. I don't think we need a Federal Reserve. I don't see it happening though. I don't see it happening because their charter's over, and they can just claim, I suppose they could probably just claim bankruptcy if they don't have the ability to print the money out of thin air any longer. Well, their balance sheet is underwater right now, by the way, because they're loaded in treasuries where rates went higher. They are their balance sheet. This is why they haven't given any money to the Treasury. All that profit they make is supposed to go to the Treasury every year. Now, instead, they're in the deep in the red. I don't know how much that you can Google what is the current Treasury balance sheet, and it's way negative. I know that.
All right.
I don't see that happening.
Okay. Let's get something in here. This is an interesting one. Bo Bernal asks, could we use our precious metals storage in BRICS to secure our loans for homes, cars, etc.? I mean, currently, right now, we can't for the most part. But I do think going forward with a lot of these sound money initiatives, that might change. Although, I mean, there's a whole lot of kind of BS going on with the sound money initiative that they had in Florida now, that there's a whole lot of speculation and changes as to the way it was written. And, listen.
No, you can't. Is just the bottom line.
Yeah,
Wish you could.
Not now.
I mean, you think you should be able to, but you can't. Unfortunately, it's a problem. Like especially for someone who has an overpreponderance of their wealth in metal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you probably got to sell it, in order to.
I mean, I've had certainly clients where we've, prepared statements for them that shows the holdings, that they don't want to be in dollars and that they just want to prove that they have the holdings in storage. And they actually still were able to get the loan for it.
I mean, here's what you could do. We used to do this. We stopped doing it because we're not a bank. But my good buddy Rick Rule and Battle Bank will be offering loans, which would be based off of the metal that they hold for you. So you could give them $1 million worth of gold. It would stay in our BRICS facility, wouldn't move. It would just move to an escrow account in the BRICS facility. Nothing else changes. And they'll give you whatever the percentage loan to value is, 60, 70% in cash. And then you just have to pay it back to get the gold back. So you don't have to sell your gold. You can pull out the equity, use it to buy your home or to put it in a bank account for a little bit so that you can show for 2 months or whatever it is.
So what are they charging? Like prime plus 2 around there?
It's going to be somewhere just short of 1% a month. I don't know what that'll be. So it's more than prime.
Yeah.
It's way more than prime. But
I thought when we played golf with was Jason.
I'm not sure. We got to call Jason, by the way.
We have to do that tomorrow.
But yes, you could take a loan out against it, put the money in your account for 90 days or whatever length of time they want to see it there. You can disclose where the hell it came from. You can show them the loan documentation if you have to. And then you have, you've appeased the mortgage company, if that be the case. And then once it's all said and done, you pay back your couple percent and get your gold back into your account within BRICS, but it doesn't even need to move. And you've kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So it is there. Call us. We can help you. We're even able to do a one-off ourselves to help people. I probably shouldn't say that. It's not something I would do very frequently, but you can certainly do it with Battle Bank once they open up. And we're hoping they open up pretty soon.
Yeah. We're definitely looking forward to that. Let's get this one on because I think this is an important one given what we've seen lately. Curtis Griffith wants to know what happens to numismatics as the spot goes so fast. Do they just maintain whatever percentage they have?
I'll tell you right now, they're the lowest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, and we've seen it. Spot has shot up, and premiums on numismatics really haven't done much of anything.
That's why I bought 2 MS6610 libs. I've been doing this a long time, never seen them before, and I mean the premiums are dead right now.
But a great time.
It's the best time to buy. In fact,
how long ago was it that premiums were almost commensurate to spot?
Well, how about this? In 2008 and 9, you had with $1,000 gold a 6220 lib. I had to pay you $700 over $1,000 spot. 70% premium, 63 or 4 upwards ends of 80 to 90%. And I flew all around the country for 2 years, became Diamond Elite on Delta, telling everyone you need to swap your numismatics right now into bullion. I'll pay you 70-80%. I'll bring you 1,800 gold eagles for your 1,000 MS64 saints or whatever. And that happened for 2 years. Right now you could trade me a gold eagle, you could trade me a gold maple leaf, pretty dang close, and get a $62.20 Liberty. Straight up, no money exchange. When I tell you I've maybe seen that never in my career. And, right now you'll get a 6220 lib under spot, well under spot. So, you'll end up with more gold. And if I look at the 35 years I've been doing this time frame of next to no premium and numismatics is about the size of my pinky toe. It's that small. I mean, it literally, it's an anomaly. So if you have a bunch of bullion coins and you're thinking about, maybe I'd like to have some numismatics, call us. We'll make sure you get the best price on numismatics. We'll help you swap it straight up into 62s and 3s. And I'm trying to get my head trader. In fact, I have a call with him tonight to just buy everything he can at these prices. And we can, at that point, trade you straight up. No money, probably, depending upon what you have. Real darn close to it. In fact, maybe even get way more gold, depending upon the grades you get, by switching from gold bullion coins or bars to numismatics. Now's the time.
Stephen Edmonds, how hard is it to ship silver internationally? I'm down here in Australia.
Impossible, Stephen.
I'm sitting on over 38,000 ounces of silver when it comes time to sell, just seeing what options I would have.
Next to none.
Yeah, it's and you're talking about a tremendous amount of weight, 38,000 ounces.
Plus in Australia, most of the world, US is not this way, but Canada, Australia, most of Europe, there's a VAT tax on import of silver. Gold at 24 karat is not VAT'd, but you can Google. BRICS just settled a $50 million lawsuit by the Justice Department for transporting gold cross border. They had to register as a money services provider, which was a shock to everyone, including BRICS. So bringing gold cross border, we can't even really do it right now because we would have to be a money services provider, and that's just ridiculous amount of money. It's not blue sky. It's it's crazy. huge. That's like American Express's money service. And it's big money. So you'd be better off, sadly, selling it and repurchasing it where you're domiciled.
All right. Well, Ryder Gloves wants to know, or is saying, everyone is asking my question now. Please try answering this, Andy or Kevin. What happens to silver or the gold-silver ratio as soon as gold is revalued?
Silver goes to the moon.
I agree. I don't think that there is, certainly there's no definitive because it hasn't revalued. But I think that silver will absolutely mimic and mirror that revaluation. And we've always said gold moves, and as gold takes its breath, silver actually moves much greater and much faster, which is what I think we're seeing now. Gold's taking its break, and I think now is where we start to see silver will make that hop over 40 and beyond, and that's where we're going to start to see
technically silver looks like gold did a year ago,
right,
or so before it took off. There's a 90% correlation throughout all of history in their movements. They don't move in perfect symmetry, but they follow each other like a rubber band. Like if you've ever gone water skiing, and when the boat turns and you kind of get that slack, and then you zoom, you know, you go around the corner really hard. That's what silver slingshot looks like, and I would agree.
I will tell you out there also, don't overlook the ratio and the correlation between silver and copper too, because as we've seen, copper has made a massive move. It just fell back right under 6 again. It's right there, but silver and copper do make a very good,
because of the industrial. But I think silver to me is becoming far more than industrial. Although it's a valid point. They do move close, but silver to me is becoming strategic. It's needed in so many areas. And if silver were to go to $200, people say, well, won't that kill the industrial demand? No. Silver is what's called inelastic. There is like less than 1/3 of an ounce of silver in here, like way less.
Yeah.
In any component that you talk about, electronics, or just about any component where silver is used in industrial applications, except for military where it's used a lot.
And photovoltaics.
Yeah, photovoltaics, but there's BRICS was yelling about this new solar panel that uses less silver, but they said it won't be really manufactured in any quantity until 2040 or 2045.
It's way far off.
But even still, it's used in such small amounts that it is a very small increase in cost to the ultimate. If it's $1,000 cell phone and the price is, if it's 1/3 of an ounce of silver, silver is $200,
you're still talking about $60.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, right? So I mean, it does and it doesn't, but no, silver, because it's been held down for so long, I think when it finally goes, it will really go.
Which is what on the heels of that, Mimi. What would be the recommended ratio to invest gold and silver for the price appreciation over the next 5 years? 80-20, 60-40, and what about platinum?
70-30, 60-40, 80-20, they're all legit. I think you're acknowledging gold's role, and you should. You can be the all-in speculator and say it's a hell of an opportunity, or you can hedge your bet a little bit. I'm okay with any of those numbers. There's no right or wrong answer.
And how do you put platinum into it? How do you throw platinum?
Right now, platinum is behaving wickedly. I mean, if you look at the short positions on COMEX, the largest concentrated short position of any commodity ever traded is silver. Number 2 is platinum. So the banks have been holding platinum down. The supply of platinum predominantly comes from Russia and South Africa. You got BRICS members there. It's broken out. It's up 50%. It's disappearing on the exchange. There's 30% lease rates. Buy some platinum. The U.S. Mint sadly hasn't made any eagles in 3 years. They're not making any this year. I don't think they're making any next year. So we
still have some if you want them in there.
They're stupid though.
And they are. Well, we actually had a great special on them.
What? What was that?
I don't know. That was like one of your things. Yeah. We had a special on them last week. I think we sold quite a number of them. But yeah, I mean, the Platinum Eagle premiums, they are high.
Remember how long I told you to buy Platinum Eagles?
Yeah. Oh. We were talking about it, but I did buy them.
I know, but before that, after you had bought all your gold, the 1 ounce, a half, quarter, tenth, and then the silver and the buffaloes, I said buy some Platinum Eagles.
The buffaloes. Then I did the tenths, quarters, the halves, and I went back to.
That's when you went back. Instead of going back, I said buy platinum.
I did. That when you told me I bought 10 Platinum Eagles.
Well, the premium on Platinum Eagles industry wide is north of $200.
Yeah.
I mean, so I would say, you know,
It was 350 a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
It was 350
yeah.
at some of our competing flights, but they are not easy to source.
No.
They are very difficult to source. Even some of the platinum maples were difficult to come by. When we spoke to Matt, he was telling me we were having a very difficult time sourcing any of the platinum coins. We had the platypuses, but that was predominantly it. And then we got a nice little injection of the platinum eagles in, and we sold a bunch of them out.
One of my good clients bought 1,000 ounces right at the beginning of the year, right when the allocations came out of Maple Leafs and then of Britannias, I think. I
Yeah.
don't remember what the second one was.
Well,
but
one of our good clients, we thought was a good idea that she buy in bulk a good.
Oh, our friend
Yeah.
who we went and visited.
Who we went and visited.
She should have.
I know we presented. I think it was 450. It was all the platinum eagles I can get my hands on.
Platinum's back up above 1,400.
Yeah,
right now.
it was 450 platinum eagles.
You should own some platinum,
Yeah.
even if it's bars. Just buy some.
Yeah, just hold on to it. Palladium, not so much. I
No.
don't think.
Nope.
All right, let's see.
Better wrap it
what
up
do we
soon,
got?
don't
Yeah,
we?
it's we've been on for an hour and 5 minutes.
I've been here since.
I know.
I've been here 12 hours.
I've been here twice. I had to go back and then come back.
Yeah, but
again.
what were you doing while you weren't here? Gallivanting and
I was not gallivanting.
finagling
I was
and
not gallivanting.
cohorting.
I was working.
Sure you were.
Even when I'm not. By the way, really, what happened the other day when we played pickleball? My phone rang and what? You stayed playing pickleball. I took 2 orders on the court.
As you should.
Right, I know. I'm telling you, he works me like a workhorse.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
He does it himself.
Calling HR. All right, let's get a couple
They
more.
like
and
me
then we're
better than
done.
you. And just let's just hope that you don't see me at a Coldplay concert with the head of HR.
That's true. But I'll be watching for you.
Yeah, they just played here in Miami the
I
other
know.
night.
And
I wasn't
it was
there.
Saturday night and Sunday.
I wasn't there.
You just didn't get photographed.
Yeah, I wasn't on the kiss cam.
Yes.
Honey, I wasn't there.
I think she might be sleeping.
Shauna, come say hi to everybody. She doesn't have lipstick on.
All right. I love it. If silver is in a multi-year deficit.
Jack, you want to come
What's
say
that,
hi?
Jack? Want to come say hi?
All right, here comes Kevin's son. Come say hi, Jack.
This is who's responsible for getting everything set up today.
How's
Jack,
it going,
Can't see
everybody?
him. You got
down.
too
There you go,
short.
right there.
Look at that. Do
This is
they
my
look
son,
alike?
Jack. He is responsible for getting everything working this evening, along with Victor tonight. So very proud of him.
Shout out Victor.
Yeah, Jack, you did a great job
Thank
tonight.
you guys.
There you go. Jack is a nice young man working for Miles Franklin behind the
Nice young
scenes.
man.
Nice young
Is
man.
that how you
Yeah.
call him? Your son?
I call him a lot of different
Someone
things.
just gave you a smiley face.
I call him a lot of different things. Oh, you know what? I found one that I wanted to. You want to answer this while I find the one that was really important?
Silver in a multi-year deficit. Why is it still available to retail? Because at the higher level, the demand first of all, the demand for silver has outstripped the supply for several years now, going on 5 years. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 or 800 million ounce deficit. The retail demand has been in a slumber. It's why you're seeing an 8-week delivery delay on silver bars in London. It's why you're seeing the lowest float that they've ever had. 155 million ounces, the lowest they've ever had in the history of the exchange since they started keeping records. It will ultimately spill into this market. And I would say that far more often and be far more emphatic about it if people weren't so cynical. Sure, Andy, for that reason right there, sure, it's in a deficit. I mean, I'm not the one who publishes the supply-demand numbers, but I will tell you they're probably a whole hell of a lot worse than we're being told because of the military-industrial complex's role in accumulation, which isn't on those numbers. It used to be, but not anymore. It's just that the thing that most people have a hard time understanding is that, yes, you see it, $3 billion with a B, and I'm just throwing out a number. There'd be nothing left in North America for weeks on end. So, on the retail side of things, it's not a lot of money. It's just an environment where there has been virtually no demand. Again, business is very good, but the retail public, the mainstream public, has no idea.
None.
And so we haven't seen an expansion into the mainstream since we saw an expansion during Silicon and Signature Bank. which added more awareness. So it's still better than it was throughout the last decade. It's still very strong, but the public has no idea. Look, you get a couple of, let's just say you got a couple of very, very wealthy pro sports owners, or a guy like Warren Buffett, or a guy like Bill Gates. He could drain everything, gone instantly,
and not even be able to purchase what he wanted to.
No, I mean, and so it appeared, it's misleading. I'll put it to you that way. There's 5 major mints in the world: U.S., Canada, Austria, Australia, South Africa, 6 in the United Kingdom. And when they run out of product, that's it. It's game over. And the reason in a rising market, if the public started to freak out, things get crazy. They say there's no bull market like a metals bull market, is that the higher the price goes in that environment, only reinforces people's concern and fear. They don't sell. The secondary market dies. This is an anomaly. It's an anomaly on premiums. It's an anomaly on availability. At the same time, the biggest money in the world is draining the exchanges, and there is a structural deficit. So to your point, how close are we to realizing that? I don't know. One event and bang, it will flip the script so fast. You remember I said this. It's happened a bunch of times in my career, but never with the backdrop that we see right now, where it could very quickly become unobtainium and not come back for a very long time. The fact that I was able to buy $11 million worth of junk silver bags, $11 million at under spot, should tell you the public has their head up their ass and does not understand what's coming. And they've been selling and going headlong into equities as the insiders are selling equities and draining the world's exchanges. It's this close away. One move on the chessboard, and it's check. And all of a sudden, what is available and flush, gone.
And by the way, I mean, probably what I
like
believe
that noise.
it's kind of like the
in the golf.
Yeah, in the golf. But I will say that probably junk is probably one of the best values I've seen in
Ever.
How long? Ever, yeah. By the way, I mean, it's been a tough week. We had Hulk Hogan, we had Chuck Mangione, we had Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne. I know. So, which brings me to
Ozzy,
Alan Satoshi Greenspan. Top 3 Ozzy songs.
Well,
I'm going to start with Crazy Train. By far,
that's the only one that what? Yeah, my wife was saying, do you tell him my wife was the tour manager for rock bands, and she used to tour with Ozfest. And she'll always say, my good friend Sharon Osbourne, you may have heard of her. She always says that.
Get a little
what was that song with that lady? It was a ballad. Lita Ford.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, it was. It was Ozzy
no, I know.
Lita Ford.
Well, there's Mom, I'm Coming Home.
I love that song.
Phenomenal.
Mom, I'm Coming Home. That to me is his best song.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when he was with Black Sabbath more than him by himself.
I'll tell you, my wife told me this morning that the last week of his life, he changed his will.
To who?
No, he made an addendum in his will that when he passed away, Sharon would receive a dozen black roses every week for the rest of her life.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of love.
Where do you get black roses?
I don't know.
Are they a real thing?
I don't,
or they died?
I think that they are died, but that was Ozzy's thing, and just show the love for Sharon. It was she was touched.
She says, what am I going to do when I die?
No, when she dies. When he dies? Lipsticks that you can come on camera.
Yes, I'll haunt you every night. Let's hope that's not for a long time.
Exactly. Let's not think about that, Jonna.
She's probably thinking of a
what do you
party.
think? One more, and then we call it a night, because it's we've been on for 1:15. Yeah, I have to eat also. This one's good. Andy looks a bit like Jerry Lewis. I'm going to take that one down. I'm gonna take that one down.
You are on my shit list now.
But I'm always on your shit list. You want a glint one?
Kevin looks like Mr. Bean.
Don't bring the picture. Can I want one on glint?
No, let's go home.
Okay. All right, here. We'll just put this one up. Stephen Edmonds. I want one more. I want to believe Michael Oliver's forecast for silver this year, $60 to 70, but trying not to get excited about it as well. Silver has a way of keeping you grounded. Yes, it does, but don't think that it's out of the ballpark, not out of the realm of possibility. I do think that we can see 60 to 70 in the short term. I think we could see it by year end. And you?
Hey, everyone out there, Tattoo says $60 silver is a lock.
That's it.
That's it. I'll end on that one because
We'll
I'll
end on
hang
that
you
one.
when you're wrong.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You already hang me. It's fine.
I never hang you.
He blames me for everything.
It's his
Trust
fault.
Me, it's
It
always
is.
my fault.
Like the tattoo I got.
That's
You
right.
see the tattoo?
These are all his fault too.
He
Just
made
saying.
me get a tattoo.
He's getting another one, by the way.
This is the periodic table, palladium, gold, platinum, silver. He made me do it. It doesn't come off, by the way.
You just did it wrong.
I know I did.
You did it
I
wrong.
know it's
that-
palladium, silver, platinum, gold. I didn't know if you'd catch that.
Me?
Yeah,
Come on. Yeah, we're gonna actually do a hibachi tattoo party at my house.
I know. I'm gonna get one right here that says "little by little, then all at once."
Andy is gonna come in on the next podcast, and you're gonna see him with a neck tattoo.
No, I won't.
All the
go
way down.
that far.
It'll be a double eagle on the left. It'll be a liberty on the right. It'll be. He's gonna look sensational. Be ready for prison, right?
I'm sure Michelle will love that for our
Yeah.
next
Okay,
podcast.
Michelle's coming over. She'll get tattooed.
Maybe she'll
also.
get tattooed across her
100%.
neck.
No doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Michelle, what do you
Little by
think?
little, right here. Little by little.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen,
No, Kevin, I need a friend.
and you got me. We're
Okay.
going for dinner.
Okay.
Thank you for coming by and tuning in this week. We apologize about not being as consistent as
Do you
we'd
like
like
the
to
Grateful
be.
Dead?
We both love the Dead.
Oh,
And
that's my computer.
I know, but you also have a badge right here,
Yeah.
which your wife asked why. One's a badge, one's a sticker. And I guess you have
Jerry
this.
Lewis,
Do you
what
have-
the hell is that
do
all
you have,
about?
do you have
By
the
the
Grateful
way,
Dead like back on the Nickelodeon shows because you don't want to show the Apple symbol? Or no?
I don't
Is this
know.
an apple? I think it's an apple. In any case, thank you for coming by.
Not Brad Pitt.
Tell your friends, hit the subscribe button, knock on that like button. We had a good turnout tonight for actually having not even
People missed you, tattoo.
tweeting it out. We have right now.
I did.
almost 1,200.
I was talking to my buddy Adam Rice. Adam says, "I got to meet Tattoo. I got to meet Tattoo." So Adam, if you're watching, come down to Southern Florida.
Come on down.
You
Let's get
too
some
can
golf.
meet Tattoo.
Yes, and then he could show you the picture that I refuse to let him show anyone else.
Let's go.
And
What
my
is
son
he,
is
he a terrorist for
he's
God's
got
sake?
like a what do they call
Balaclava.
balaclava?
Not baklava. That's what
Yeah.
you eat at a Greek restaurant.
I don't. Clearly, you know that. I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. It's been real. We will see you.
It's been real. It's been fun, but has it been real fun?
It
Yes,
has.
it has. I
Are
agree.
we going to do Mondays next week? Is that what we're doing? Is that our plan? Mondays at around?
Yes.
Shauna,
Are you out of town?
No, I'm not
No.
out of town Monday.
No.
You're going to New York.
I'm back Sunday.
And I go on Wednesday to Minnesota.
Are we doing like Monday 6:00? Is that what we're going to try and be doing going forward? We're going to be moving the live Q&As to Mondays around 6:00. That's give or take a little bit. We'll be sending out on Friday, most likely. Hello, Andy. Hello. See, that's what I like now about being able to see this.
Yeah.
But you know what we can do, and I'll talk to you about it off air. We'll change some of this to make it a little bit more informal.
Jovial.
Yeah, I have some good ideas
Ooh, we could do some really naughty things.
to each other. I mean, we
No,
could-
like behind us.
I know, but I could.
Yeah. What do you
Like,
mean?
wait,
What do you mean? Wait a second.
I'm just gonna send Jack.
Dirty things to
I'm
be
gonna,
naughty
I'm
to
gonna
each
send
other.
Jack
That
a
crossed
text
the
and be
line
like,
there,
okay,
man.
switch the screensaver now.
Yeah. I could do it too. Oh my God, I could. See,
Trust
the
me.
remote controls right there
Oh.
to switch the screen saver. I could do it
By the way,
myself.
there's nothing better than doing this with your best friend. in the
I mean,
world.
I could show you
It's
some
phenomenal.
good stuff, you all. Oh my God, let's
By
do
the way,
that.
we could.
We could say that if you get a question wrong,
Oh, I love it. Well,
can I
listen,
show that picture?
no,
Okay.
I will absolutely go.
I'm gonna
with
let
it.
you say goodbye now. 'Cause
I'm saying
out.
goodbye. We will see you a week from today. It will be roughly around 6:00 Eastern, but we will be sending out hopefully a thumbnail and a tweet, Instagram, and all other social media. Hopefully by Friday
I got an
afternoon. so that
idea
we know.
real quick.
Yeah.
Who would like to come to a tattoo party with me and Kevin?
That'll be cool.
We could do.
Yeah, we
you
can
have
do
to
that.
get a tattoo.
Yeah, it has to be done. What if it has to be a Miles Franklin tattoo?
I don't care about that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then you have to get a Miles Franklin tattoo.
Yeah. For those that come, maybe we pay for the tattoo
that
too.
would be all right. So then let's put it out.
Let's
there.
have a tattoo soiree.
All right, a soiree. Let's figure it out.
Bring it by.
Yeah, okay. Jana is kicking us out of the office. It's
I
been
do not
real.
look like Jerry Lewis, by the way.
I don't think you do either. Walter Matthau, yes, but Jerry Lewis, no. We will see you next week, all. Have a great night. Be well. How do I get out of here now? How do I go unlive? I don't know how to get out of this. It's been too long. Oh, wait. Live? There we go. Live? No, I still can't do it. There we go. No. Still don't know how to get out. I think it's actually on the other side. There we go. Leave studio. Can I just leave and that'll count recording?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Sayonara all.
Do not look like Jerry Lewis.